All right, folks, I'm just going to shoot it to you straight today. Who's in our backyard? Who's in Venezuela? Look no further than China, baby. China. Going to be talking a lot about that today with Big Foreman Mike. Now, Big Foreman Mike I've had on many shows on ninoscorner.tv. Big Foreman Mike is a defense contractor. He has his fingers on the pulse on everything South America, narcotic activities. We're going to war, baby. We're going to war with the cartels, folks. Get ready. Buckle up. Warships are headed into Venezuela. I think they're already there. 4,500 troops are there along with the warships. Folks, when you really understand what's going on with China and Venezuela and know what happened in 2020, you know how China very sneaky. Not only China, but Iran has their tentacles in Venezuela as well. This is not just the cartels, folks. Who funds the cartels with all the fentanyl? Who funds the cartels? Who's giving them all their artillery? Is there nuclear silos in Venezuela pointed at where? United States? Folks, we're going to get into all of this today. This is a very serious subject. And $50 million bounty on Maduro's head. We're gonna discuss all that and much more today, folks. Folks, hit the notification button. Also, Venmo. If you appreciate me, I appreciate you. I answer all the questions on Venmo. That's _Rod, ROD 1977, _Rod 1977. Folks, also, when the lights go out. My past life about boxing. I got to write another book now. When they go back on. No, I don't know. But I got to say that when the lights go out, there's a lot of euphemisms to this. And I got to say that it was, I wrote it all on my iPhone. I wrote the whole damn book on my iPhone with my thumb. And I did have tendonitis in my thumb for like a year. Also, folks, my mama's book, The Mexican Mix. The Mexican Mix from my mama. I read her the reviews. She forgets them 2 minutes later, but that's okay. She enjoys them while she remembers them. Also, folks, get your collagen. Look younger. A recent clinical trial found that participants using just 10 grams of collagen a day for 8 weeks, just 8 weeks, saw up to a 20% increase in skin hydration and a 17% improvement in elasticity while visibly reducing their wrinkle depth. If you're aiming to boost skin health, collagen is a must-have. But typical collagen supplements found on store shelves don't always work. This is why I use this special blend of magic, and I'm obsessed with how much my skin health has improved. I think I look pretty good. I'm approaching 50. Can you believe it? The hell's wrong? I can't even believe I said that. Since taking it, I've seen smoother skin, more elasticity, fewer fine lines, and a more youthful glow. Plus, it mixes smoothly with my morning coffee or tea. Make sure to grab a bag while it's still 51% off, folks. Plus, you'll also get a free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free shipping with your order. Once again, hit the link down below, folks. That's Health with Nino. Get collagen. Look younger. Do whatever you can to look younger. I know we all want to look younger. I do the red light therapy. I cycle on methylene blue. I don't take it all the time. I do the collagen, all that. There's certain hacks. There's hacks that you can do to look younger. Sancho has to keep up with the women's. Yeah. All right. So, folks, also, ninoscorner.tv, Ringside with Nino. That's filling up fast. That's twice a month, the second Wednesday and last Wednesday of every month. We try to keep it at that. I'm telling you, folks, we war game together. We have a blast. We network. The Black Sheep family comes together. I'm wearing a Black Sheep hat today. We come together and just war game everything that's going on. Also, the General's tent this month will be 𝗬𝗂𝗁𝗂𝗁𝗂. 𝗬𝗂𝗁𝗂𝗁𝗂 is going to be the General in the General's tent. That's August 28th, 5 p.m. 5 p.m., August 28th. So you get to see my ugly mug at least 3 times a month on ninoscorner.tv. It's pretty good. Also, folks, the Ghost is going up again today. I got one up for last night. Another one's going up today. The Ghost, Dr. Kirk Moore. Now, if you know about this guy, the doctor, he was giving people this with saline. I mean, crazy story. A hero in my eyes. Also, 𝗂𝗏 and like I said, 𝗬𝗂𝗁𝗏. And without further ado, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐿 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐿 coming on today. Did the red heifers already get sacrificed? It's just crazy shit. Could it have happened already? 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐿 is going to come on today and talk about that. I'm going on with him right after this show. So 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐿 will be visiting the Nino'sCorner.tv. All right, folks, without further ado, you might want to turn it down and turn it up, baby. It's getting ready to kick off right now with Big Foreman Mike. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, folks. Yeah, let's go. All right, folks, from the D.C. streets to Venezuela's shores. Trump sends U.S. warships to face Maduro's 4.5 million man militia. I don't think they're going to take a knee or bow out of this one, folks. I think this is going to be kinetic. And why? Because they have everything to lose. And who backs them? China. It's kind of like a proxy war for China. I mean, also when you consider the fact that, and I'm going to say allegedly, there's nukes in Venezuela. They've been spotted allegedly. Big Foreman Mike will clarify on that. So 4,000 troops and 4,500,000 militiamen. What to know about the U.S.-Venezuela standoff? The U.S. and Venezuela appear to be heading towards a standoff with neither country indicating a willingness to back down. Could this be the next Vietnam? Cartel warfare, folks. Who's been saying this for the longest time? I have. I've been saying this now for 5 years. It's going to kick off. It's going to kick off. And you can bet it's going to bleed into our streets. Now, I'm pretty sure there's measures that have been taken. People have been taken down. You know, they've gotten Chapo over here in Santa Teresa. El Mayo también. Both of them have been taken here in Santa Teresa Airport. And I'm sure they've given up a lot of names. I'm sure they sung like canaries. And so I'm sure, you know, we even flew a drone into Mexico, right? But now we're sending friggin' battleships to the coast of Venezuela. How is this going to play out? I'm not sure. This is uncharted waters for all of us. I've never seen a president actively go to war with the cartels and hence China. So the U.S. and Venezuela appear to be heading towards a standoff with neither country indicating a willingness to back down. The Venezuelan government on Monday mobilized more than 4 million militia troops, seemingly in response to reports of U.S. naval movements in the regions. Folks, this is war. This is war. The cartel wars have officially begun. Never before have we sent actual battleships to foreign waters to fight the drug cartels. Not in my lifetime, not ever I can remember this. This is absolutely bananas. We are now in an entirely new phase of the Trump operation and in uncharted waters. Get ready for cells to be activated here. I think that's common sense. I believe that's common sense. Anyone with a brain knows, okay, guerrilla warfare at the highest levels, fifth generation warfare at the highest levels. What's going to happen here on our own streets? I would say get ready for cells to be activated. Now, that's just my opinion. As more armed National Guard patrol Washington, D.C., citizens and politicians are becoming more and more uneasy. I don't know. I think it's to handle some of the flight risks coming into the arrest, if you ask me. So let me and my audience, I would like to ask my audience, do you really believe this is due to the beating of Edzard Korenstein, known online as the government circle as Big Balls? Do you really believe that's why all these National Guard are on the streets in Washington, D.C.? You think it's because Big Balls got a beating? I don't think so. I'm sorry. I think, yeah, it's a proper response for something like that. He wants to keep the streets safe. But there's something more at play here, folks. Got to read between the lines. Also, folks, if you're on Facebook and X watching this, depending on the audience, how big it gets, we may just keep streaming on Facebook, X, and YouTube altogether. But if not, I'll let you know, and then you got to meet me over here on YouTube. So, on August 11th, 2025, Trump declared a public safety emergency and invoked Section 740 of the D.C. Home Rule Act, enabling federal control over the Metropolitan Police Department and activating the D.C. National Guard under federal command. He claimed the deployment was necessary to tackle ramping crime, homelessness, and to protect the federal assets, describing the city as an in-state of total lawlessness. The deployment and support from Republic states, Trump initially deployed around 800 Guard troops with a focus on tourist-heavy and federal zones rather than high-crime neighborhoods. 6 Republican-led states, West Virginia, South Carolina, Ohio, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Tennessee, responded to a federal request by sending hundreds more National Guard members. Altogether, the number of Guard troops in D.C. now stands at about 2,000 and is climbing. Why? That sounds a little extreme for one beatdown of a big balls. I don't know, folks. I think my theory is going to hold a lot of water coming into the next few weeks and months. As troops take over D.C., we now have 𝗬𝗏𝗂𝗍 Gabbard further cleaning up the intelligence agencies with revoking security clearances for 37 former and current intelligence officers over what? Russiagate. Yep. So I'm sure my audience can see the writing on the wall. I know all of you can, especially my audience. I know for a fact, I don't want to pat myself on the back or pat any of you on the back, but I think we're a little ahead of the ball here. And we're a little brighter than the other dim light bulbs out there. So also, folks, something to pay attention to: Baltimore Harbor explosion. Cargo ship blows up in Chesapeake Bay. A cargo ship exploded in Baltimore Harbor, Chesapeake Bay, Maryland on Monday, according to early reports. Video footage of the incident has surfaced online. I saw this. It's kind of crazy. I don't know what could be in those containers, obviously explosives, but unconfirmed social media posts suggest the explosion occurred as the vessel was passing near the remains of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The fire appears to be out at this time, but the cause and extent of the damage still remains unclear. Authorities have yet to confirm any official details. I don't know if any of you saw this, but I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical on this. I'm having Trader Girl from X come on to talk about this. She feels the Golden Gate Bridge is an absolute target, and these are all signs to what's to come. So Trader Girl Q's coming on my show on Nino'sCorner.tv. That's going to be fire. It's like that. Just a good timing, Alex. It's going to be fire, Trader Girl Q. So interesting. Not sure what's going on here, but I think these things tend to happen before the big one, if you know what I mean. So we'll keep an eye on this stuff for you folks. Trump's D.C. crisis enters second week with more soldiers and no exit strategy. As the Capitol braces for a second week with soldiers and masked federal agents conducting roving patrols on the city streets, President Trump says he knows some Americans fear he's crossed a dangerous line. Already they're saying he's a dictator, Trump said Wednesday, speaking at the Kennedy Center in Washington. The place is going to hell and we got to stop it, he said. So instead of saying he's a dictator, they should say, we're going to join him and make Washington safe. It's impossible to untangle the impulses that led Trump to abruptly militarize law enforcement in D.C., putting hundreds of National Guard troops and federal agents on the streets while attempting a chaotic takeover of the city's Metropolitan Police Department. Now, folks, you know what I think is going on here, and I know all of you think the exact same thing. 𝗬𝗏𝗂𝗍 Gabbard revoked security clearances for 37 former and current intelligence officers over Russiagate. Director of National Intelligence, DNI, 𝗬𝗏𝗂𝗍 Gabbard on Tuesday announced that she directed her office to revoke the security clearances of 37 former and current intelligence officials over the Russiagate scandal. So this news story broke several stories recently about Russiagate, which found that high-ranking government officials during the administration tried to damage Trump during and after his 2016 presidential campaign by promoting false conspiracies to the benefit of former Democratic presidential nominee. Yeah. Oh, I tried to make the news very entertaining. I'm sorry. I'm a little crazy. Oh, folks. So, U.S. sends 3 warships toward the coast of Venezuela. Maduro mobilizes 4.5 million militia members. Let's bring on Big Foreman Mike. Big Foreman Mike is in the house, folks. Big Foreman Mike, how are you? Man, I love your outfit, and I love the American flag behind you.
Oh, boy. Hi, Nino. How are you? Hi to all the audience. Proud member of Nino's Black Sheep, obviously. Doing great. Feeling good, man. How are you?
Good. So I met Big Foreman Mike during the building of We Build the Wall. I was there. I was kind of like, I don't know, what would you say? I was kind of like the local guy, the local kid, local boxer.
You were a bit more than that. You had picked your team. You had picked your side. You understand because you've been there. Narcotics. You understood both sides of the border. You gave us narrative and explanations that some people didn't have, and were very valuable, in discussions, and also, in general, just being a supporter of We Build the Wall and the border wall that we built with 275,000 American donors privately.
I got to tell you that wall was built so damn fast, and you guys were facing hurdles and obstacles the whole way. I mean, it was unbelievable to watch. It was a phenom, and you were the main. I mean, you were the defense contractor. You were one of the ones in charge of this, correct?
I was originally. I just went out there to be a contract liaison. It turned out that I actually was a liaison between all the government entities. I was working for the federal government through contract services, and I was reporting directly to the White House through channels and worked for Homeland Security through channels. So they had every step of the way, everything that we were doing. Now, before we even get started, have to get a couple of things clarified so your audience has the real knowledge. Gavin Newsom is blaming, and I don't know if your audience saw it, I'm sure they did, a truck driver who was an illegal entry into the United States in 2018, made a U-turn and it killed 3 Americans. He was an illegal entrant. He got a CDL Class A license, didn't pass any of the language tests. So here we have more Americans dead, and Gavin Newsom is on national TV blaming President Trump. Let me stop everyone right there. Gavin Newsom, the Democratic Party, were blocking Trump from building any wall on the border in 2018. President Trump was doing everything in his power. He was getting blocked everywhere, and that's how We Build the Wall came into existence at the end of 2018 with Senior Airman Brian Kolfage raising $23 million. And that's how the privately funded border wall project started. So Gavin Newsom is a liar. I'll say that on your show. Okay. He is a flat out liar.
That's not news to anybody here. No. I mean, we all know that.
No, but making public statements, is extremely critical, and he's a liar.
Right, and no doubt about it. And guess who else is resurfacing like a turd that won't flush? Beto O'Rourke.
That guy needs a sock in his face. Okay, the Democratic Party in the state of Texas is absolutely in tatters and crumbling. The representatives that they have, Jasmine Crockett, let's just talk about old Jazzy. She's a liar. She's from Missouri. Okay? She is raised by an affluent family. She tries to act like a hood rat. She's an embarrassment in Congress. She doesn't give 2 hoots about her constituents. When you get elected to go to Congress, you're representing the people that are in your district. She doesn't care at all. She's working on her podcast show. That's all she cares about. If you research her, she was a terrible lawyer, a terrible litigator. She was a 1-star litigator on the stars of how you rate 1 through 5. Just pathetic. Okay? All she's worried about, her net worth, and her prominence in society as far as where's she going to go, her podcast show. And I could not be happier if she loses her seat. And let's talk about that. You've got Austin, Houston, Dallas. They're all meccas for the people that don't want to work, the people that want the free stuff. So, Texas is coming alive. The border is changing dramatically. President Trump, this guy's just magnificent. But right now,
you know what, Big Mike? The border right now, I've never seen so many cranes, bulldozers, all the equipment that's on there right now. They're building that wall everywhere. That all the areas that I thought were suspect, they're putting the wall there. That one area in Santa Teresa that where there's that gap where people can just jump over and cross over. You know which area I'm talking about, right? Where the train goes through.
I know exactly where the Annapolis Gap is. I know. I was there. I was there 1,000 times. We actually had meetings with, Homeland Security, and we were going to build 1.6 miles to close that gap up the side of Mount Cristo Rey.
Well, I can't say they've done anything there. They put some barriers there, but there's military there now that you just walk even. I mean, if I just pull up in my truck, they stop me and say, "What are you doing here?"
We are going to be building all the way across Mount Cristo Rey. Trust me when I say that.
Wow.
It's 1.6 miles from where our wall stopped, going up across the top of Mount Cristo Rey and down to where we used to sit face to face with the cartels until, that's right, President Trump got the Mexican government to send 28,000 troops to the border. So instead of cartel members running down the hill trying to kill us with AK-47s, which they did on occasions, they rushed us. Okay. If I didn't have the helicopters there, we were going to get smoked. We were then
were in constant threat of that, and weren't you? I mean, every day, every night, you guys were getting bombarded by the cartels, right? I know they were up in the mountains, watching you guys. Like, it was crazy.
Well, what they don't realize is we had counter battery people there. If shooting was going to happen, we had special operators, and I mean experienced special operators up in the mountains that they wouldn't even know it hit them. We didn't want that to happen. They got within about 25 yards of our machines on one evening and were immediately deterred. And not with lethal firearms, but the overhead lethal firearms were there should anything happen. And nothing happened like that. But there was pressure. There was daily pressure from the cartels. We used methods I can't discuss to deter them. So, wow. It was and it was worse.
Let's switch gears for a second. Let's get to Venezuela. We got 3 warships headed to Venezuela, probably already there. Maduro mobilizes 4.5 million militia members. 3 U.S. Guided missile destroyers are set to arrive off Venezuela's coast within 24 hours. Part of the Trump administration's effort to counter threats from Latin American drug cartels. The deployed American ships are the USS Ghavourly, USS John Durham, Dunham, and the USS Sampson. The U.S. military had previously announced on August 22nd that air and naval forces would be deployed to the Caribbean with more than 4,000 sailors and Marines as the Trump administration shows increasing willingness to use military force to combat drug trafficking in Latin America. Now, is that what it's really about, Big Mike? What's really going on here? I know you got your fingers on the pulse on all of this.
You've got a trifold of situations happening that we're aware of. Let's talk about Venezuela first. Maduro is a narco trafficker, the same as Noriega. He's going to be stopped. That's the $50 million bounty. There's a $50 million bounty on his head. Now, Maduro has put a $50 million bounty on President Trump's head.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to work out very well.
To me, that's an act of war, period. But, that's all hearsay. That's just, smoke and mirrors. All right. We have as a fact that Maduro is a narco trafficker, the same as Manuel Noriega. He's making millions of dollars per month. Okay. he is hand in hand with the cartels. Now, go to the cartels. Donald Trump's administration is decimating the cartels. Okay? But the new generation of leadership for the cartels is coming in, and they are much more extreme and much more violent than El Mayo near the end of his career. Everybody was just wanting to make money selling narcotics and sex trafficking. President Trump has absolutely, without firing a shot so far, in stopping that from happening. The wall has to go up. We have to build a wall. I will let you know I am associated with functions with building the wall and systems and people coming in to build the wall as quickly as possible. We're in talks now. Great people, more great people, some of the old people, and some of the people that you know. So the wall's got to go up now as fast as possible. President Trump has to keep doing a magnificent job he's doing.
So Mike, the wall, though, a lot of people just say, it's just a wall. Anybody could hop over it. Doesn't it have sensors and technologies and drone coverage on the wall that will not be allowed to happen?
The electronics packages, even compared to what we had 5 and 6 years ago, have made tremendous headway. We have subterranean IFID fiber packages that are in the ground to consent tunneling down to 30 feet or more, depending on how deep the fiber is buried. If we bury it 9 feet, you can hear sounds. You can hear anything in the ground, 47 to 55 feet or deeper. Okay.
Wow.
Our aerial reconnaissance and electronic and fiber optic sensors in the air, our electronic surveillance systems, our drone systems are all in play. People need to know not to come to the United States through the southern border.
But what about the northern border? I mean,
that's our next big issue. Okay. You have, and here's the scary thing, you now have radical Islam working with the Chinese and the cartels. These aren't nations anymore. Okay. You're mixing some very bad actors. Yesterday in Massachusetts, a guy went to one of the state locations, and I don't have all the information yet, but he got arrested after he started to damage one of the state offices, and then they found 2 IEDs down the street.
Wow! So, they found IEDs.
This has not hit national news yet, and I don't have all the intel to fully discuss it. All right, we're going to start having a problem here in the United States with radical Islam working with the cartels, working with China. So back to Venezuela and Maduro, he is directly working with the Chinese. The Chinese are laundering money. They're also printing money. Okay, now I have the videos, and they're definitely Hispanic. I don't know where. And they have the most modern printing presses printing dollar bills, $100 bills, coming off the printing presses, and we've got the videos.
What?
I'm talking,
So they don't even need to make the money. I mean, they're literally making the money there. They don't need to do anything. I mean, what else can you do? That's the power in itself.
They're doing the fake deals with the fake money. Everybody thinks it's money. It's not money. It's all fugazi. And this is the reason why stablecoin and Bitcoin and all these other utility coins are coming into play. Nobody can get inside of the heads of the Bitcoin or the other stable coins. And this is the reason we have to get away from the paper money. Only 8% of the paper money, United States currency, only 8% of that is in paper now. Okay? I believe in paper dollars, but the rule of law is not being followed by the criminals. All right, so you've got hundreds and billions of dollars being exchanged between the criminals being washed in to U.S. dollars. It's a pretty bad situation.
So they're destroying the value of the dollar itself.
Well, if they're trying to. It's not going to work. They're trying to. But see, the Chinese, as a for instance, they're not only terrible gamblers, they're terrible marketers. All right. They are doing everything they can to overthrow the United States people, not the governments per se, but the people. They want our resources. They want our food. They want our minerals. They want our water. They don't care if they enslave the American people.
Well, they've already bought up all the farmland here.
That's coming to a quick end.
Right.
That is coming to an extremely quick end. They're going to be ejected from owning property in the United States. They're going to be ejected from owning property around our military bases in the United States at a very rapid pace. And this is the reason why the midterm elections are so extremely important. And everybody has to understand, share, and get it out and support their conservative leadership and keep, they call it MAGA. You know, everybody should be MAGA, but we have to stop this, and we have to stop it now. If we fail in the midterms, and if we fail in 2028, this thing's over. So everybody in every age group has to get involved. And if you look at the metrics, everyone is getting involved. Young men are turning to conservatism. Us old people, we still got a lot of fight left in us, and we're getting involved. Everybody that didn't want to get involved now is getting involved. It's a very
Well, just look at the ICE. There's no age cap on it anymore. $50,000 bonus. Anybody can join ICE. You don't even have to have a college degree. You could join ICE now. You could be 70, 75, 80 and join ICE.
If you've got any kind of, and it doesn't even have to be a law background. When I say that, I mean, enforcement background. You can be a member of ICE. If you have anything, you can be a computer expert and be a member of ICE. You can be a bus driver and become a member of ICE. There are things you can do for this nation, and you can do them now.
That's going to turn the economy around just by itself.
Look, this economy's already turned around. We were done. This thing was over. Between Joe Biden and the liberal media, this thing was smoked. Too late. Cat's out of the bag. It's over. The United States people, red, white, black, blue, yellow, green, gay, lesbian, heterosexual, whatever, everybody's pretty smart. They think we're stupid. They think we're just out here,
We've woken up. Everyone's awake now.
Oh, boy. Everybody's awake. Okay, and everyone understands transition. This has been the most rapid transition to successful business and personal stuff I've ever seen. This is just magnificent what's happening. And everybody that gets on the bandwagon in their own small way, little guys like me, we're just getting out there and getting in the game, and something's going to happen. Something's going to give. Okay.
So what do you see now that this is transpiring on the Venezuelan shores? Do you see boots on the ground going into Venezuela? How do you think this is going to be taken care of? What do you think is the next step here?
No. The 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit and the ships they have. I have different names of ships than you do.
Okay. It was an article I read.
It's the Iwo Jima amphibious group with the USS Iwo Jima, the USS San Antonio, and the USS Fort Lauderdale. These are directly interdicting the drugs that are being rerouted because the border's getting shut down physically by the United States.
Rerouted where?
Well, here we go. Back to the old deal. When cocaine trafficking started, first it was marijuana, and then they found out that a little box of cocaine could, come through the islands. Carlos Leiter went to Norman's Cay. And that's when the explosion of cocaine into the United States initially occurred back in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. Now, Carlos Leiter is out of prison after doing his 40 years. And he's an extremely knowledgeable guy. And he lays it all out, and he doesn't hide any of it. But they're trying to recreate the routes of the 80s. And that means they're coming off the coast of Venezuela. They're not coming from Mexico or upper peninsula of Mexico. They're coming off Venezuela. Why is that? Venezuela is 1,000 miles from Miami. So they're using super speed boats with
submarines.
Oh, of course, they're using this. They're using the submarines. I firmly believe, and if I'm President Trump, I authorize it with a phone call. Find those sub pens and hit it with a few missiles. Kill everybody.
And Trump is giving those orders, correct? Stop him at all costs.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I
Okay.
haven't talked to President Trump, but I can tell you one thing: the United States Navy and the United States Coast Guard, they are picking off everything. I'm talking, $1.5 billion, $500 million every 30 days, every 20 days. They're coming back to unload in port because they're picking off so many ships interocean.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Serious.
So this is like the cartels, we can say, are going bankrupt, right? But here's the point I want to make. What about the labs they have in the United States? What about in Canada?
Again, they just popped a lab up in Canada that was one of the biggest ever seized.
Wow.
And thank God the Canadian government did that. Canadian law enforcement, because they're not getting too much support from the socialist government is now in charge again. It's just Trudeau 2 with Carney. It's just Trudeau 2.
So I would imagine the cartels at least have a lot of stash houses that have not been found here in America, a lot of warehouses maybe that they're still able to push the drugs through, that they have a good supply of drugs left to sell. Am I stretching? I mean, I would imagine they have not all been popped. I mean, from my understanding, because I have friends that party, right? They have to take like medical testing kits to the bars or clubs wherever they're going. But
no, I wasn't aware.
Sound like there's I mean, my prior life, I used to party pretty hard, Mike. But I'm just saying, like, it doesn't sound to me like there's any shortage of demand or supply.
Well, the cat and mouse game goes on 24 hours a day. 365 days a year. You have narco traffickers, okay? But you've got a mix in there now that you have the fentanyl coming from China, and everybody understands the 11 different ingredients to make fentanyl come from China. Now they've got the pill-making machines, which people are dying left and right because they think they're taking some type of opioid, and they're not. They're taking fentanyl, and they start blowing bubbles, and they die. So you're losing grandmothers, grandfathers, mothers, fathers, uncles, aunts, sisters, brothers, people you work with. It's affecting every American's daily life, and it's a very sad thing. And you're not going to get, the Chinese, Xi Jinping, yeah, Donald, I won't do any of that. And they try to outlast it because of the American system of governance going up against dictators. But the counter to that is, we're economically destroying them by bringing jobs back to the United States.
So what are they going to do from here? I mean, it seems like to them, they're like, okay, well, Trump is only going to be in another 3 years. We'll wait this out and start this all back over again and replace him with who we want in office. That's probably their mindset. They're scared to death of Trump signing this executive order that will get rid of mail-in ballots. Machines, the whole thing. They're scared to death. I mean, this is the end of their game, right, Mike?
Well, it's the end of it's the end of their grift and theft. USAID was nothing but a money laundering system to empower Democrats and some Republicans. They've got a problem coming too.
Right.
Do not kid yourself. Okay. The cat is out of the bag. The cat is out of the bag. These people are just stealing and stealing and stealing and stealing. Okay?
So do you think this goes kinetic, Mike? Do you think we're going to go kinetic in Venezuela?
No.
So then how do we take care of this? How does this get handled? If they got 4,500,000 militia ready to go, I don't understand how I don't see how we solve this without going kinetic.
They don't even have 4,500,000 people that get on the radio and listen to radio every day, man. It's Venezuela. It's party, have a good time. The farmers are farming. The tin knockers are knocking tin. Nobody's picking up arms and going to their local armory. This is not Venezuela is not the United States. The Venezuelan people don't want any part of it. Maduro's a dictator. It's just that simple. Maduro has
I bet you his own people hand him over. What do you want to make a bet?
I don't know if it'll be a military coup against him. He keeps a pretty tight grip. I do know that Well, I can't say anything about the studies of his personal protection. I can't say it on, I just
Okay,
can't talk
no,
about it.
fair enough.
I
But
do know. I do know with the right people, in the right place and the right extraction, he'll be gone. He'll be somewhere, but we have to stop him. The leader of a nation is a narco trafficker. It's proven. The DOJ has proved it. It's just this whole situation. As you know, I was with members of the Peruvian royalty 2 weeks ago. They're talking about it openly.
wow.
They're talking about the Chinese openly and the problems that are happening now in Peru. You have these, I don't want to call them lazy because they're not. And some of these nations go back, 1,000 years now. They're used to a semi-socialist system all through South America. But what the Chinese are doing is a complete violation of the Monroe Doctrine. They're all over South America. And they're destroying South American businesses by bringing in their own people, and opening up a grocery store right next to another grocery store, bringing in the stuff from China, and the price is half of what it would be in Lima, Peru. So, it's just a problem.
What about the rumors of the nuclear weapons there?
I can't even really discuss that. I've heard since the mid-90s. I can't discuss it. I do not know.
Okay.
I'm at odds with some of the information about that, but I can't say it's not true.
What about cells being activated here in America? Does that alarm you at all? Could there be cells that are activated? Will we see bloodshed on our streets now that we're taking the fight to them?
I don't think you're going to see it from the cartels. I do know, as you know, the cartels have a Walmart distribution center set up for drugs. Okay. Fentanyl, cocaine, heroin. That has been disrupted by President Trump, the Trump administration, the DOJ, DHS, ICE, Border Patrol, my personal favorites, and the United States military. It's been completely disrupted. That's why they're going to sea. Okay? That is the biggest mistake you could ever make, being in the cartels, is going up against the United States Navy, the United States Marine Corps, and the United States Coast Guard.
Yeah.
You got a major problem.
Yeah, there's no fixing that. What's your thoughts on me before I let you go, Big Mike? What's your thoughts on Ukraine offering $150 billion arms deal to Trump? Do you think Trump takes it? Trump has said repeatedly over and over again that he wants the killing to stop. It seems to me like it'd be contradictory of him to take this deal. And he did roll out the red carpet with Putin. I mean, it seems to me like he's more on the side of Putin here. He wants this all to stop. But now Zelensky comes out and says, wait a minute, we'll give you $150 billion weapons drones deal to secure your backing. What's your thoughts on that?
If you think for 1 second that the United States military needs a Ukrainian drone, you're completely insane. Okay, we're working on drone projects now. I personally am working on drone projects now. We don't need anything from them.
So we don't need their money, is what you're saying?
We don't need to. Ukraine offers $150 billion weapons drone deal to secure Trump's backing.
We don't need it. So you don't think Trump will not take that?
No, it's $150 billion. That's chump change. That's chump change for what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine.
Be careful here. This
all started with in his administration.
Correct.
They had Ukraine turn in their nuclear weapons and offer for protection.
Right. Let's leave that part right here because it's fluff tube. Mike, can I bring you on Nino'sCorner.tv?
Whatever you need me, just give me a call if I'm available. Yes, for sure.
You got it, Mike. I appreciate you coming on. Everybody give a big thumbs up for Mike Fury, Big Foreman Mike. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Dino. Say hello to your mother and father, please. I hope they're well.
You got it, Big Mike. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thanks.
All right, folks, that was Big Mike. I got to tell you, he's got his fingers on the pulse. He knows exactly what's going on in the southern border. I was privileged to meet him and many great patriots at We Build the Wall. Made very good connections with these guys, these what I call soldiers. He's a defense contractor. He did a lot for the Wall project. Hot Mike catches Trump saying Putin wants to make a deal with me. President Donald Trump seems to have privately boasted to a fellow world leader that he believes Russian President Vladimir Putin will make a deal with him, as crazy as that sounds. Well, he did give him the fucking red carpet treatment, I'll tell you that. He didn't give that to 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗹, did he? That says a lot to me. Plus, if you looked at Melania's letter that she wrote to Putin, it's all about what, folks? Saving the kids. At the core of all of this, it's about saving the kids. So, Russia launches missile attacks on central Ukraine hours after Trump-Zelensky meeting concludes. Talk about really pushing the envelope here. Russia launched a wave of missile and drone attacks against Ukrainian cities on August 19th, hours after President Vladimir Zelensky concluded peace talks with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House. Explosions were reported in the city of 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗀 as Russia launched ballistic missiles, struck the country's central region. Multiple ballistic missiles and dozens of drones were reportedly used in the attack. So it looks like nobody here wants the war to stop. It just doesn't end, folks. It just doesn't end. But let's get to some border news, as if we weren't talking about the border already. But Trump declares war on drug cartels. Trump tells Navy and Marines to destroy them by any means necessary. What does that mean? Well, use your imagination. 4,000 troops and 4,500,000 militiamen. What to know about the U.S.-Venezuela standoff? The U.S. and Venezuela appear to be heading towards a standoff, with neither country indicating a willingness to back down. The Venezuelan government on Monday mobilized more than 4 million militia troops. I don't even know there's that many people in the country. Seemingly in response to reports of U.S. naval movements in the region. We defend our seas, our skies, and our lands. We liberated them. We guard and patrol them. No empire will touch the sacred soil of Venezuela, nor should it touch the sacred soil of South America. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said in a televised address Monday. He's going all in, folks. Oh, geez, that's their military? What the fuck is that?
Dude, exactly, right?
Like, what is that? Looks like the Boy Scouts. Or is that the Girl Scouts? I can't even make out what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, those are 3 women right there, but yeah.
And the other one's wearing a satchel. What is those binoculars? Oh, geez. Oh, gosh. I don't know, man. I mean, really? Really? I'm just whatever. Should I even finish reading this article? Oh, God. We defend our sea. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay? Not like that. Tuck in your shirt. I don't know. I can't anymore. Wow. Well, looks, folks. I mean, is it a cakewalk? Look at the picture and you decide for yourself. They're all staring in different directions. One guy's even looking at his phone. Oh, Lord. Well, all right. So, anyway, if it goes kinetic, I feel very sorry for them. Oh, boy. All right. This is Cuban Missile Crisis in Space is developing. Russia is building a space nuke that could wipe out every satellite in orbit, the U.S. warns. As Russia held its Victory Day parade this year, hackers backing the Kremlin hijacked an orbiting satellite that provides television service to Ukraine. Instead of normal programming, Ukrainian viewers saw parade footage beamed in from Moscow. Waves of tanks, soldiers, and weaponry. The message was meant to intimidate and was an illustration that the 21st century war is waged on not just on land, sea, and air, but also the cyberspace world and the reaches of the outer space. So Russia's flexing its muscle and beaming a broadcast of their own parade into Ukraine. Satellites are the short-term challenge. More than 12,000 operating satellites now orbit the planet, playing a critical role, not just in broadcast communications, but also in military operations, navigation systems like GPS, intelligence gathering, and economic supply chains. They are also key to early launch detection efforts, which can warn of approaching missiles. Boy, this is getting interesting. And folks, from drones to nukes, North Korea now is pushing AI military modernization plan. The General Staff Department of the Korean People's Army, KPA, ordered the entire military early this month to make plans to build AI-based manned and unmanned combat systems. According to the Daily NK source in the North Korean military recently, the Combat Training Bureau of the GSD on August 2nd issued an official order to the operational departments of services and arms across the KPA throughout encrypted wireless networks, instructing them to make plans to build AI-based manned and unmanned multi-purpose combat systems ahead of the Ninth Party Congress. So this is all going AI. And you think about it, it just takes one wrong move and the whole world blows up into smithereens. Yeah. All right, folks, I got to cut it short today. I'm jumping on with 𝗬𝗓𝗏, so I got a hard stop. So I don't usually do this, but I will read what the fuck news. In what the fuck news, China firm plans world's first pregnancy humanoid robot using artificial womb. Remember, I've been talking about this. Soon, men are going to be getting robots pregnant, and they're going to carry the baby full term. Well, it's happening. The innovation uses artificial amniotic fluid and nutrient delivery via hose, replicating natural gestation, now to be integrated into humanoid robots. So now men, if you're sick of your wife and you want an AI robot at your house that cooks and cleans, does the dishes, and will have your babies, look no further. They're making them. This, to me, is destroying all human connection, folks. This is so dangerous. I still don't understand the people that talk about, oh, AI is just algebra. It's just geometry. It's no big deal. I mean, it's just going to do what we tell it to do. Really? It's severing all human connection. And if you look now, look how everybody goes to ChatGPT, Grok, whatever, to get all their answers on everything. It is now turned into, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to be controversial, it's gospel to a lot of people now. People now use AI before using anything. They won't even crack open the Bible anymore. They just go to AI, ChatGPT, Grok, find out everything they want to know about God, life after death, whatever. AI has the answer. That is so dangerous. AI now makes music, makes movies, what else? Writes your term paper for you, and now guess what? You'll be able to get it pregnant. That is not good for Sancho. Well, maybe it is good for Sancho. I don't know. Sancho may have a lot of AI ladies. I don't know. It's getting crazy, folks. I got to roll, folks. I thank you so much for your super chats. Is there any super chats, Alex? The military is there to handle civil unrest after the arrest. Yeah, I've been saying, Robert Kennedy, you are absolute. That's what I feel is right. Thank you so much for validating me. Charity Shalom, can you ask 𝗬𝗓𝗏 if he thinks Nephilim can attach to AI in some way? I think they do. I think it is all run by the Nephilim. Just curious. Thank you, moderators, and David, for all you do. Thank you. Is that it, Alex?
That's it, Nino. Just the two today.
All right. People are cheap today. They don't appreciate the Nino. But all right, folks, I did my best today. I got a hard stop. Like I said, I got to jump on with 𝗬𝗓𝗏 at 10:30. So that's right now. Thanks, Alex. Thank you very much. All right, folks, I'm out of here. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of broadcasting, folks, get to Patriot Wear and get some gear. PatriotWear.com. Get over there. Tell me what you want to see in the store. All right, folks, I'm out. Later.